Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jack Mullaly Discussions. Over the past couple of episodes, we've been talking about how you can get into the sport of bike trials cheaply and easily using only a mountain bike. Today, I'm going to talk about how you can find some other trials riders. So regardless of whether you're mucking around on your mountain bike or whether you've gone out and bought a trials bike itself, at some point, it's going to be great to ride with other people. So this episode is going to be all about how you can find them. Now, before we get into that, let's touch briefly on why you might want to ride with other people. Now look, the first and most foremost reason is it's really good fun. It's social, trials rides, people talk to each other. So the cool thing about the ride, you know when you go mountain biking and you'll start at the trailhead and you'll have a chat, then everyone will shoot off down the trail, and then you get to the end of the trail and you have another chat, and that's great fun. Trials has even more opportunities to hang out and socialise with people, because you'll do a move that might take a few seconds, then you'll have a chat and someone else will try it, and so on and so forth. So trials is a really social sport, so that's one reason. But the other reason is that riding with other people will help you to progress quicker at trials. And there can be a few reasons for that. One, it's because the other riders will help you out. So, you'll be trying something, you might be struggling with it a little bit, you might not quite be getting it, and the other riders will be able to point out what you're doing right, what you're doing not so well, and point you in the right direction. But even when that's not happening, simply being around other riders, particularly riders who are better than you, will help to up your skills. Because when you're learning any skill, right, any physical skill, what's going on is that your body is making connections, neurological connections in your brain that tell it how to move through space. So you're trying to, maybe jump up onto a particular obstacle. Your body is really rapidly trying to learn, okay, I need to move the body in, this way. I need to move this muscle first, and then this bit, and then, move in that direction. And it's making neurological connections for that to occur. The funny thing about the human body is that it can also make those connections by watching other people doing the same thing. This is why you'll hear coaches talk about visualization being such a powerful tool to learn technical skills. It's because the visualization itself literally helps you to make those connections themselves. Now, it won't work if you've never practiced the sport. For me, visualizing, what's a sport that I've literally never, ever tried? I've never tried skydiving. For me, visualizing how to skydive might not be particularly useful because I've never tried it. But for me, visualizing how to surf, which I've done a little bit of, probably actually quite a useful way to spend my time. Nonetheless, so riding with other riders or finding other people to ride trials with is great because it's going to be fun and social, but also great because it'll help you learn quicker. So how do you find them? There's a bunch of different ways, but the thing about trials is, being a small sport, is that the other riders will always be really keen to ride with you. So follow any of these methods, you're bound to find some people who are like, yep, for sure, come out for a ride, that'll be wicked. So, number one, if you're in kind of Queensland or the Brisbane area of Australia, oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be a little bit Australia-centric and probably a little bit Queensland-centric, right? Because it's where I live. But you can apply the same ideas anywhere in the world. So, first up, if you are around Queensland or Brisbane specifically, get in touch with me. I'd be keen to ride. Go to the website, www.jackmullaly.com. There's a contact page and you can get in contact with me. But besides that, other ways. So, in a lot of countries, there'll be some form of centralised trials website. In Australia, it is biketrials.com.au, and it's got links to a number of local clubs. It's normally got an events calendar for competitions and that sort of thing posted. So you could go through that sort of method to find other trials riders. Other options are to contact trials shops. Now again, in Australia, this is mainly online shops, and there's two. Now, of course, I'm a little bit biased here towards one of them, which is Expressive Bikes, because it's my brother Tim's business, and naturally he supports me with my riding and the like. But equally, there are other trial shops in Australia. Another one that's very active and very supportive of trials is Biketrials Direct, which so another really good option there. So, central trials websites, bike trials stores, both of those will help to point you in the right direction. Then of course there's bike trials clubs. So in Australia there's a fairly active scene for sure in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. So in the case of Queensland, the Queensland Biketrials Club was for many years our trials club. That has merged with the Brisbane South Mountain Biking Club these days. But there is still a Queensland Biketrials Club Facebook page. So you could, for example, Google that and get in contact with people that way. Other options. There are online forums. In an Australian context, the forums aren't really so active these days, but there are a couple. There's an Australian section of observedtrials.net. You could go post on there and you may get a response. That's not so active these days. By the way, these days is 2015. Equally, the mountain biking website Rotorburn has a trials forum on there as well. It's not super active, but again, there are trials riders who keep an eye on it and will respond, so you could check those out. If you're located internationally, there are definitely some more active forums, particularly like in the UK. Trials forum is really active. So look, there are a few ways that you can find some other riders, but the main thing is that if you get in contact with them, trials riders are always really keen to meet new riders and to ride with other people. So don't be afraid. Don't sit there and going, oh, are they going to accept me? Or, I'm not very good. Forget about it. Trials riders are so keen for the sport to grow that no matter what level you're at, if you contact them, they'll be keen to have you along, show you different spots to ride. Actually, that's another really good reason to ride with other people. They will show you new spots to ride so that you've got heaps of different obstacles and varied stuff. Cool. Well, look, that's it for this episode of Jack Mullaly Discussions. If you like what we're doing here, want to get more content, there's a few ways you can do that. You can go to www.jackmullaly.com, find a whole bunch of cool stuff there. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and obviously you'll keep up to date that way. Or there's also a Facebook page. So if you Google Jack Mullaly Facebook, you'll be able to find that. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. That's it for this time, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.